Let's get serious for a second. So what's going on with this serial killer of models or something in LA right now?
Yeah, there's been growing concern across the community with no answers, but today at least we're getting one of those answers, but still very few details. Two models found dead, both in their early 30s, living only a mile apart in downtown LA. The second model found just 2 days later. Eerily similar, it might seem, but after days of questions and uncertainty, police are now saying there's no evidence, at least so far, to believe the two deaths are related. That is the only new detail involving the investigation that police are willing to release more than a week later. This after family members and the community began demanding answers in fear of a serial predator.
Can you talk a little bit about the two homicides that in downtown, the two young ladies? Any information? Black young ladies, which is really disturbing. I don't know if there's any information you can provide the public and us.
Yeah, at this point, I want to respect the investigation, the efforts in determining the circumstances of those deaths, and I will update that, meaning I'll give greater detail in the coming days.
Families and the community beyond frustrated with no answers into the mysterious deaths of two young women. The mother of Nicole Coates taking her story to the media, demanding answers.
I'm heartbroken, and it's killing us. I'm devastated.
Nicole Coates was discovered inside her apartment on 8th and Grand. Her family had not heard from her for 2 days. Police will only say that this is a death investigation. But they have said Melissa Mooney's death was in fact a homicide. They say she was killed in her Bunker Hill high-rise.
Okay, so I feel like it's so many people that are freaked out right now, but rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't hear about the first girl getting killed until the story about the second girl got killed. And so apparently they live within like a couple of miles of each other in downtown LA. Downtown LA is crazy. I just want to say that. But the interesting thing about this place is like they're both luxury apartments. And I know for a fact the girl that lived at the second spot, the second girl that got killed, 8th and Grand, is above these luxury apartments that are above like this Whole Foods, like this whole like little stretch. It's like all like pretty much all brand new. And I had a friend that lived there. So when I say it is not easily accessible, it is not easily accessible at all. You have to be buzzed in. The front desk has to let you in, or somebody buzzes you in. You have to give somebody your name. You have to tell them that you have someone coming in if you did not come down. Like it's a whole thing. Like you have to sign in. So my question is what is this apartment like? What are they hiding? Because there's cameras. There's, like I said, like it's not like just a rinky dink concierge like person at the desk. It is people, like cameras, all of that stuff.
And
And
so maybe somebody that actually works for the actual
it could be. But the weird thing is that they have not listed this as a homicide yet. I don't know if they upgraded it, but the last news story that I watched, they had not said it was a homicide. They're just investigating it. But the aunt and the father went to her apartment, and they're the ones that found her. And it was a gruesome scene. And the aunt said it looked like she had been fighting, like how her legs, her arms were positioned, and she was unrecognizable. And so to me, a lot of times when stuff like that happens, I know this from watching the first 48, a lot of times when that happens, it is somebody that you know, where they...
Because it's a crime of passion.
Yeah, sometimes it's a crime of passion. It could be somebody that you could be, all of them aren't always crimes of passion, but sometimes, 9 out of 10 times, it is somebody that you know. Whether it be intimate, y'all could have been cool, whatever the case may be. Yeah. So I think that's alarming to me that they have not upgraded this. And then also, like, I think her Apple products was missing, and y'all not finding my iPhone.
So, but how do they connect? How are they connecting it to the first
they're saying that it could be just based on the miles. So we know when it comes to serial murderers and stuff, like they kind of operate within like a certain proximity of each other for the most part.
Mhm.
But it's also how, again, two luxury, there are cameras, there's street cameras downtown. And
So
so
why you
this girl
nothing?
went on a date. So she went on a date Friday. Yeah, I found her Monday. Okay. Again, no cameras. There are cameras in those hallways. Access. So that means even if she went on a date and she drove and they came up in the elevator, like you saw there's, come on, man. It doesn't make sense. This is 2023. It is so hard to get away with murder right now.
Yeah, and
It
that's
has
like,
to.
serial killers are down. Like
Mhm.
like because it's hard. We talked about this when some of our first
Yep.
episodes of how
Mhm.
basically forensics and all that stuff is catching people faster
Mhm.
before they even can start becoming a serial killer. And
Yeah.
like the spree killer is now the thing. Like the mass shooter is like the equal now as the serial killer.
Right.
But
And
like that old
so,
methodical like Hannibal Lecter that's sitting out there for like 8 years killing
ain't
20
no,
people ain't happening no more.
it ain't happening no more. So that's why I was like, so yeah, we're not checking street cameras, we're not checking footage, we're not checking receipts, like where this person went on this date. So that's why I was like, so nobody knew where she went to eat at. Like you can do that based on phone records. Like, your phone picks up locations. Like you have to turn that off. Like it's a whole thing. So I'm like, these being two Black people, that's why y'all playing. And y'all continuously play in Black people's faces. And I hate that shit. And I just hope her family, both of their families, find some sort of justice and peace. And I know
Yeah.
we won't bring their kids back, but it's just fucked up.
Yeah, I would hate it to be a serial killer back out. I mean, I know they exist and stuff, but it's like we all
Yeah,
ready.
I'm inside. I'm inside.
I
You
mean,
ain't got.
it is. I mean, and it is really is. And I guess a side question in this for you is LA moving slower because of the strike? Does it feel like the city's moving a little different in your eyes?
I'm gonna just say it's pure and utter chaos.
Really?
I just feel like it has been chaos for like a long time. Like
Oh, and the
especially
strike
when
is
it
just
with
like
even the strike is just an added layer to it.
mm,
But I think as far as the violence and stuff, like especially because now we're going into fall and the holiday season, nigga, I'm shutting this shit down. I'm
really?
inside.
Is it? Why do you think they'll pick up?
Just because it's holiday, we in a recession. Shit, the motherfucking I just bought Comet at Target, which is normally like 75 cents. That shit was 139.
Yeah.
Inflation is all of that is taking a toll on people. And I just think that it's a lot. And people have to, people it's kind of like by any means necessary and they don't care. It's, similar to how it is kind of at home sometimes.
Yeah.
So
And then the strike thing out there is cats moving a little bit different with the strike. You feel like, or is it's kind of, I mean, like within the entertainment side of things.
I feel like it's definitely tension, and we're starting to see them slowly cancel shows.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, man. Like,
Yeah, so the strike is where shows go to die, and it's just really fucked up how capitalism has really screwed up people's mentality because it's like what these people want and what everybody wants. They're not even asking for a lot. You know what I mean? The fact that y'all like, oh, we'll bankrupt you, like like by Christmas y'all gonna have to come back. Like, yeah, but how come y'all just can't negotiate?
I see. The thing is, I was listening to a podcast, and they were breaking down. A lot of these companies know that they're gonna already lose money, so they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to mitigate like basically saying
Yeah.
like the money we got that you saying we making, we ain't gonna make that in a minute because it's gonna be another another recession or something happening again, and people gonna stop using these streaming services, and cutting back. and we're not gonna have the money that we had before.
I don't think that could be a part of it, but to me, it's like it's always gonna be like nobody. There's nothing that kind of can make things like outside of like certain like packages. Like I think for sports, like it'll always be a space for it when it comes to sports, right? But nobody is going like I know a few people that have cable. My dad and one of my homegirls that lives in the valley. That was the only people I know that literally have cable. So unless cable is going to do something that's enticing to say, oh, you get access to all them individual apps on here, unless they figure out something, I don't foresee streaming really losing out. It's just niggas trying to be cheap. And what they did was they probably oversold, because I know part of the big thing was it's like, okay, you had people like Marseille Martin or Issa Rae and like Beyonce and like different people that had like these first look deals where it was like, oh, we got these projects with you, we locked you in. But because of the strike, let's say if they wanted to terminate it just on a regular day and the strike didn't exist, they still have to pay them a percentage of that contract.
Or maybe
With the
maybe the whole thing, depending on what it's structured.
Yeah, depending on, yep. And so with the strike happening, that was a way for them to get out of a lot of shit that they locked in and not have any penalties.
Really?
They had to pay on shit.
Why,
It had
why,
to
is that?
for
Why
a
can they go
minimum.
against the contract?
It was like the strike had to be a minimum of 3 months, and so they knew the strike was at least gonna go for.
Wow.
Hey y'all, if you like what you see here on Everyone Needs an Aquarius, be sure to hit that button right there. It'll take you to more clips, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share our podcast. See you back next time.